Because I feel like this in the preview was something that was just said on the Friday episode, that Jacob still wants to catch the Impaler, obviously. He said it twice last week, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, getting a preview that Jacob's going to be saying that again next week. Whoop-de-doo. What is up, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers? Here for my weekly preview of this upcoming week of Beyond the Gates. Probably going to be quite quick today because I found this week's promo for this upcoming week to be underwhelming, and I just don't have a lot to say in general, but I still will get to some of your comments while I have some time in this video. But let's get to the video preview first, where we first have Nicole telling Anita not everything is about sex, and then Anita saying that's exactly what this is about, isn't it? So this could be Nicole telling Anita about these fantasies she's been having about Ted. Is this going to be Nicole throwing Carlton under the bus to her mama too, like she did to Kyle, saying, well, when I'm with Carlton, all I could think about is Ted. Just completely throwing poor old Carlton under the bus. I don't care about Nicole's love life. I've been saying this for weeks and I still feel that way. I don't think it's good television. And then next up, we see Nicole telling Ted it is time they have an honest conversation. So I don't know if that has to deal with their relationship or what. I am not into Nicole and Ted getting back together yet. The story is not there for it. They have not had a good build for it. So sorry, I know there's some people out there that want Nicole and Ted to get back together. I am not one of those people. But frankly, I don't know what else you can do with Nicole and Ted's love life right now, because Ted is written as such a goon and Nicole is Nicole. So yeah. Next up is Leslie telling Darlene to be nice to her daughter because she would hate to have her husband arrest her for beating her ass. I actually did like that. This is when Leslie can be entertaining to me still. If she's just trying to fiercely defend Eva, even if she's always being overbearing to Eva, I can be for that. Because the thing is, Darlene in the preview then says, try me. Darlene is not likable. Like, Leslie, in most situations, is the more annoying person, especially these days on this show. But Leslie versus Darlene, to me, I'm Team Leslie. Because Darlene has this vibe to her with her damn children, with her damn sons, that the women that they're with just aren't good enough. We've had flashbacks that she was like that with Naomi, even acting uppity with Naomi, who was a Dupree. So it's probably easier to act better than Leslie and Eva in the situation with Izaiah. So yeah, if it comes down to Leslie and Darlene sparring this week, I'm Team Leslie. Next up is Jacob telling Naomi he won't stop until the Impaler and everyone associated with him is behind bars. This Impaler storyline still dragging on is not exciting to me. It feels like we're just going to go from Jacob always being in the alley, doing a bad job doing his undercover work, just being repetitive with that situation, to now Jacob always complaining to Naomi about how he squandered the end of the Impaler investigation, how it resulted in Derek's death, and how he still hasn't caught the Impaler and he's going to keep trying. But it's like, the show needs to learn how to not have these repetitive scenes. If they want to stall their stories, which they've been doing way too much of, can they do it in a different way than just having these repetitive scenes over and over? Because I feel like this in the preview was something that was just said on the Friday episode, that Jacob still wants to catch the Impaler, obviously. He said it twice last week, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, getting a preview that Jacob's going to be saying that again next week. Whoop-de-doo. Next up is Vanessa telling Joey he clearly thinks Joey is behind the red market ring. What are they going to do about it? I don't know if this is Vanessa talking about Jacob thinking that Joey is the Impaler. Probably. I'm sure Joey has something up his sleeve to do something about it. Joey being so pulled into this story, though, lately, is why I have to think that it is his sister that is actually the Impaler. I don't know if that excites me though. I feel like it would be a better reveal if the Impaler is someone that we already know on this show. I still think Nicole would probably be the biggest shocker, but I've seen people speculate that maybe it's Andre. Maybe this is Andre's big secret, why he doesn't like photos of taking of him. Um, I don't think I would like if it was Andre though. I don't want heavy-handed writing of like Andre's a bad man too, and that's why Danny can still be with Bill. They need to find a better way out of that situation if they want to explore Danny and Bill again. I think that's a cheap way out with Andre to make him too bad of a guy when everything we've seen for over a year now is like he's the biggest babyface on the show. And then lastly is Hayley worried about Bill's hand. He wraps his hand around her and she pushes it away and says stop. They have squandered Bill and Hayley. At the beginning of the year, this was like their last good storyline. And this show has squandered all of their good storylines with too long stalling. Like there is nothing exciting happening with Hayley and Bill right now. Always seeing her poisoning Bill, that lost drama a long time ago. Bill having his hand shaking again, that's not great for dramatic effect either. You know, as soon as they wrote Lynette out, this storyline definitely lost a lot of steam. And right now, I don't know how they're going to get steam back for it. Anyway, the other thing in the spoilers this week is that it does seem our Young and the Restless crossover might be starting on Friday. At least Victor Newman and the Abbotts are in the spoiler. I don't know if that means we're going to see them on Friday or if that's the preparing to see them the following week. It will be interesting, kinda, to see how these characters from Y&R cross over onto Beyond the Gates. It's two soap operas right now with not good writing, so how do they make that exciting? I don't know. Could Victor Newman be the Impaler? Is that why we are seeing the Impaler story maybe reach a climax when the Young and the Restless thing is crossing over? I don't know how they make that work, though, unless they're going to make it a long-term story on both soap operas. I mean, I also don't think Victor Newman should be the Impaler because that shouldn't fit the Victor Newman character. But with the way the show writes Victor these days, like he is a supervillain, then maybe it does fit. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to some of your comments before I gotta go. Ed the Bank said, Hayley poisoning Bill is getting old. His hand was shaken, but this needs to speed up so Hayley can get caught. Yeah, that's what I just said. That this storyline has definitely gotten to a point where it's not really working anymore. It's boring like everything else on the show because it doesn't go anywhere. Hermie On says, I feel bad for Carlton because Nicole's admission to Kyle that she fantasized about Ted while sleeping with Carlton gives Kyle a major edge over Carlton in their three-way relationship. I mean, yeah, Nicole telling that to Kyle, like, it ended the love triangle. So if the show is going to go back to the repetitive thing like they like to do of having Nicole going back and forth between Kyle and Carlton, it's a big waste of time for us as viewers because Nicole telling that to Kyle really should be the end of that love triangle. Because, yeah, Kyle does have a major edge over Carlton, and they completely just cut the legs off of the Carlton character at the knees unless he's going to be the Impaler. Devin said, dude, I feel so embarrassed for Carlton. If Kyle doesn't use that as a dig at him in the next pickup game, then I'll be disappointed. I feel like they're trying to write Kyle as the type that wouldn't do that to Carlton unless he was feeling, on edge about the triangle like he did at one point. So I don't think we're actually going to see Kyle throw that in Carlton's face. But I feel like if this was written realistically, he would do that. Because if the show wants to write two grown men really fighting over Nicole and not dating anyone else while she doesn't make up her mind and just goes back and forth, well, yeah, it would be logical for Kyle to throw that in Carlton's face. And it would be soapy. Alicia says, what a cheesy, cheap, manipulative, plotless device. Now we get to see Deanna spiraling into madness. No, I'm not down for that shit. I agree wholeheartedly with Alicia. It's not a storyline I want to see. If Deanna's going to be crazy or on drugs and no one's going to believe her when she's completely correct about everything about Joey, it's another way to stall that already bad storyline, but it's also going to probably ruin the Deanna character, which is one of few characters this show has actually made most of the audience want to see. So that can go south real quick with that story. Carmen said, I am tired of Ashley too. When Derek moved in her apartment, she kept complaining about every little thing. I was over her then. Prepare for Ashley to cut up during the memorial service for Derek. She will probably take bereavement time from the hospital. And why doesn't Shanice wonder why Ted is still living in a hotel when real estate Vanessa could find him a place to live? She doesn't think he may just move back with Nicole. Ted and Shanice's relationship is so weak. Shanice thinks Dana/Leslie is the threat, but it's Nicole. I mean, I agree on both things. I think they've done the most with Ashley this past week. I've already said what I needed to say about all of the terrible TV time they gave Ashley this past week. And yeah, they've really kind of ruined anything for Ted and Shanice with the way they've written both of them, where they continue to write Ted as just such a pushover for Leslie. But then they changed Shanice. Because at the beginning of the story, just a few months ago, Shanice was pretty great at going toe-to-toe with Leslie. She would never let Leslie get to her. But then suddenly, these past couple of months, Leslie's always getting to Shanice. I don't like the change. It's why when people say that this show is character-driven, it's fucking laughable, because Shanice is not in character in the storyline. Next up is Marty B, who says, this review cracked me up. The writing is terrible. Everyone is acting like Ashley is so fragile and needs constant supervision. The paper airplane scene was a big waste of time. I can't believe Ashley let Derek's dad think it was Jacob's fault that he died after she's been telling everyone that he was there in the warehouse because of her. Now he's going to blame himself, and this will become another drawn-out storyline about Jacob's mental health and anything to put off dealing with the Hayley of it all. Yeah, they want to add anything except deal with the storylines they already have in place. But also, yeah, this is just another reason for the audience to not like Ashley. I don't get the Ashley character. I don't get the obsession with giving her screen time when she's written so poorly. She's written as unlikable, and yet everyone on the show has to prop Ashley up and feel sorry for her this week. Doesn't make any damn sense. Pamey says, I need them to spice up the teenage stories. If Jessica really does go away for college, then we need Tyrell and Chessie to get together. That would shake things up a bit between Anastasia and the Duprees. I've been saying this for weeks now too. Give us more of the younger characters. They're actually a breath of fresh air from all these people we've constantly had to see this year. Because I'm so sick of seeing Jacob, Naomi, Ashley, Grayson, Nicole, Vanessa. Sick of them. I would much rather watch the teen scene. And if Jessica, I hope Jessica doesn't go though. I hope Jessica somehow stays for whatever reason. Then we could have a triangle with Jessica, Tyrell, Chessie. That works for me. Although I feel like they would maybe more so write it Samantha, Donnell, Chessie if they were going to go for a triangle. Travis J says, oh, whatever. Danny will be reading Bill today and hugging him tomorrow, which is a great point. Danny was reading Bill for filth the other day, but she always goes back and has a good time with Bill, reminiscing about the past. Travis is right there. Let's see, just a couple more. Janice Shields says, Vernon and Anita were the best part of today's episode. So cute and funny. I used to tease my parents all the time, and they have been married 53 years. No children or grandchildren have lived with them in 15 years. Just the thought of them cracks me up. 53 years is a long time. Congrats to your parents, and I do hope they still spice things up like Vernon and Anita do. Aaliyah Hunter McDowell says, my biggest complaints about the show right now are lack of sets and slow-ass storytelling that isn't taking us anywhere. I can get over the lack of sets if they would write stories for the sets. If you're going to have a trial, then yeah, you should probably have a set for a courthouse. But I definitely agree that the slow ass storytelling is the worst part of the show right now. The pacing is killing this show. The pacing, if the pacing was quicker, even just, a little bit quicker, maybe we would feel like some of these storylines aren't as bad as they actually are. But right now it seems like they're not moving along the stories that were originally good because they want to stall them for too long. And then their new ideas aren't working. And so you have these bad ideas and a slow pace. That's a recipe for disaster when it comes to a soap opera. But hopefully somehow this will be a good week. I feel like the only thing we have to look forward to over the next 2 weeks is this Young and the Restless crossover. We'll see how that goes.